I'm going to say it right now. I don't know what your opinion is of Michail Antonio, or what you think of all his comments, or how you think he presents himself in the media, or whatever. Even how you think he kicks a football on a football pitch. I love Michail Antonio. I absolutely love him. I think he's a total character. I think he gives his heart, everything on the football pitch. And yeah, let's be fair, he's not the most technical player of all time. And as much as he would probably go down as a West Ham legend for me, he might not go down as a West Ham legend for you. But I think we need to put more respect on Michail Antonio's name. I absolutely love the bloke, and something that has increased my love for Michail Antonio, because prior to him, doing all the stuff I'm about to say and all that, I just loved his character on a football pitch. I love the way he presents himself. He always plays with a smile on his face. The celebrations and stuff. I just think he's an absolute character. You got that little thing where it'd be like, oh, if you could have 5 people take to a dinner party, or 3 people, or whatever it is, he would be honestly number 1 on my list, alongside probably like Mark Noble. I think Michail Antonio at a dinner party would be just absolute vibes, and I just really love him as a player, as a person. But like I said, one thing that really has increased my love for him is the Footballers Football podcast. Now, this is a podcast that he does on BBC Sounds. Obviously, you can go listen to it if you want. He does it with probably the worst person I could ever imagine a West Ham player to do a podcast with, Callum Wilson. I mean, I just talked about how much I love Michail Antonio. It really kills me that he does the podcast with Callum Wilson, because notoriously he loves scoring against West Ham. He loves winding us West Ham fans up. And what's even more annoying is that I've actually come to like him a little bit as well through the podcast, because I actually think he's an all right bloke. He's a sound bloke. He's got good banter with Michail, and I think he sort of talks with an ego and all that. But I do think that's just for show, just for the podcast. But I can't love him. I can't like him, because the way what he's done to West Ham over the years is unforgivable. But anyway, I'm digressing. On the podcast, they talk about loads of different stuff. I think as of recording this, it's a Friday. As of their episode, I think either today or yesterday, they were talking about James Ward-Prowse not being in the England squad. And, I think the thing I love about this podcast is that Antonio can speak with no filter. He can say what he wants to say. And yeah, fair enough, he gets a bit of backlash for it. But you know what? It's raw and it's honest. And he said, I think Southgate should be ashamed of himself. I don't understand how Ward-Prowse is in an England squad. I think, he's taking the mix sort of thing. And I respect that. But the comment I actually want to address and talk about, which I think is quite funny, is that, and I was listening to this, is that Antonio has revealed that he's planning to do his coaching badges. So he was speaking with Burnley manager Vincent Kompany, and basically I think their sons go to the same football team, and obviously Vincent's now doing well at Burnley, he's now a proper manager. And Michail said, I was at Kompany's house, and he asked me what my plans were when I retire. And Michail was sort of saying, I don't know what I'll do after I retire. I'll probably get into the punditry side of things. And Vincent was like, do your coaching badges. There's no harm doing your badges. And obviously Michail was going to do his badges and was sort of unconvinced by it. He doesn't know if he wants to go into management, that sort of thing. But it looks like now, following the footsteps of its company, he is going to do his coaching badges. And I think that's absolutely brilliant, because could you imagine Michail Antonio as a manager of a football club? I mean, I can't even begin to imagine the clips, the memes. I mean, I would follow his club just for Michail Antonio. I think the guy is absolutely hilarious. And him getting things like coaching badges and stuff. We've seen Mark Noble as well do it in the later years of his career. And I think it is really important actually to talk about this, because let's say he gets his coaching badges, right? Let's say he because you could do that while you're playing football. There's no reason why. I think Mark Noble did it when he was playing. Obviously, Antonio might not be playing week in, week out every single week. Let's say he got his coaching badges at West Ham and then retired. What's stopping him from going straight into the youth academy, or going on as a first team coach or something like that? We've seen Kevin Nolan do it. We've seen plenty of ex West Ham players and staff come back to West Ham, and I think that is our best way of actually recruiting people, is by having ex players and ex staff who've worked under the club before coming in as first team managers and first team coaches. So I think it'd be really interesting to see that if Michail does get this, the way his contract's going at the moment, it looks like he's going to retire at West Ham the same way Mark Noble did. When Mark Noble retired at West Ham, he had his coaching badges, he had everything sorted out. And he went on to obviously do the sporting director role, talk of him being involved in the youth team as well. Let's say Antonio in 3 or 4 years' time retires, he could walk straight into that coaching sort of element of things. I think he'd be a perfect, even the youth academy. He said that he really wants to work with kids and he wants to, help nurture the youth. Whenever players have come in, they've gone to Michail. Michail's put his, arm around their shoulders and said, like, this is what you need to do. Wait for your chance. This is how you get better. Here's a bit of advice, sort of thing. So, I think that'd be great for him. And also, let's not forget that learning that tactical side of the game a little bit more is actually really important for a player to understand the game and to do better themselves. I think most players could do well from coaching badges and actually learning that tactical side of the game, because at the end of the day, if Moyes says something to Antonio, you might think, well, I don't really understand how do we get one being asked to do that. But if he becomes a coach himself, he actually understands that a little bit more. So obviously, I'm taking this comment and I'm running with it a little bit. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I'm running with it a little bit because I'm getting a bit excited. I'm thinking, Michail Antonio being a manager or a coach would be absolutely amazing. So I'm running with it a little bit. He probably won't, go on to, like I say, be an assistant coach or a set piece coach or whatever he's going to be. Maybe he can come on at West Ham as like a celebration coach. He teaches all the staff and all the players how to do a proper celebration. I think that's probably a job he can probably get at West Ham. But like I say, I'm running with it a little bit. He probably will do his badges and will end up, maybe coaching a non-league team or like maybe his son's team or something like that. So I'm running with it a little bit, but you never know. You never know. I mean, I think Mikel's the type of guy that wants to be in football for a very long time. I don't know how much of a footballing brain he's got on him, to be honest with you, because in the interviews I've seen of him, he doesn't really talk very tactical. He doesn't really talk very in depth. The words he uses are quite like the same words I would use, like hold up play and, all that sort of stuff. So, like I say, I'm running with this a little bit, but it's international breaks. We're going over Italy. No, that's not what it is. But yeah, I do think Antonio, it's really good news that he's doing his coaching badges. And I think it's quite funny as well, just to think, what do you think Michail Antonio would be like as a manager? Do you think it'd be quite fun to play for? Do you think he'd completely switch up and be like a really hard manager? Like, I was a Premier League player and I scored this many goals, you guys are crap sort of thing. What do you think he would be like as a manager? And if he was to get his coaching badges, would you like to see him involved in West Ham in the future? Let me know in the comments below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.